How to improve your listening skills. Leo often felt a pang of frustration whenever he tried to understand English conversations. The words blurred together, a rapid stream he couldn't quite decipher. He knew improving his English was vital for his career aspirations and personal growth. This constant struggle made him doubt his own capabilities, feeling perpetually stuck in a linguistic rut. One evening, browsing online, he stumbled upon an article emphasizing how to improve your listening skills. It wasn't just about hearing, it was about active engagement. The article suggested immersing himself in various audio materials, starting with simpler content before moving to more complex dialogues and accents. This concept resonated deeply with his current dilemma. He decided to dedicate a significant portion of his daily routine to listen and practice. Leo started with podcasts designed for learners, gradually moving to short news clips and then full documentaries. He paid close attention to intonation, rhythm, and the subtle nuances of spoken English, repeating phrases he found interesting or challenging to grasp fully. The next hurdle was speaking. He felt awkward, terrified of mispronouncing words or constructing clumsy sentences. The advice he found was clear: start step-by-step talking. It meant not aiming for perfection immediately, but rather for small, manageable interactions, even if they were just with himself in front of a mirror. Leo began by recording his own voice, describing his day or narrating simple stories. Then, he moved to online language exchange partners, focusing on short, low-pressure conversations. This gradual approach slowly chipped away at his deep-seated hesitation and allowed him to articulate his thoughts more freely, gaining confidence with each passing day. He also read that why reading is so important for language acquisition. Reading helped him understand sentence structures, expand his vocabulary, and grasp grammatical rules in context. He started with graded readers, progressing to articles, then short stories, and eventually full-length novels in English, absorbing new knowledge. The more he read, the more he noticed patterns in how people speak English. Idioms and common phrases, once baffling, started making sense. Reading provided a solid foundation, complementing his listening and speaking practice. It showed him the logical framework behind the seemingly chaotic spoken word, making it less intimidating. Leo began to consciously observe how people speak English in movies, TV shows, and even in public places. He noticed the casual contractions, the flow of natural conversation, and the expressions people used in different situations. This observation was crucial for internalizing authentic speech patterns and rhythms. He realized that passive learning wasn't enough. Active English talking practice was non-negotiable. He joined online discussion groups and looked for local meetups where English was spoken. The idea of initiating conversations with strangers initially filled him with dread and anxiety. Leo pushed himself, remembering that start step-by-step talking advice. He started with simple greetings and questions, gradually extending his turns in conversation. Each small victory, each successfully communicated thought, fueled his motivation to engage more frequently and with greater enthusiasm. He learned that how to talk with anyone was less about perfect grammar and more about genuine connection. Asking open-ended questions, showing interest, and listening actively were far more important than flawless articulation. People appreciated his effort, not his lack of errors. Still, the fear of making mistakes loomed. Why I always make mistakes was a question that plagued him. He'd mispronounce a word, use the wrong tense, or choose an awkward phrase, and immediately feel a wave of embarrassment wash over him. This was his biggest mental block. A mentor told him that mistakes were not failures but signposts on the path to fluency. They indicated where he needed to improve. This changed his perspective entirely. He began to view errors as valuable feedback, not reasons to stop speaking altogether, embracing imperfection. He discovered that how to improve your English was a holistic journey. It wasn't just about one method but integrating several: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Each skill reinforced the others, creating a virtuous cycle of learning and progress. The initial overwhelming question of how to learn English had transformed into a clear, actionable plan. He had found his rhythm, his personal learning style, and most importantly, his confidence. The process, though challenging, became genuinely enjoyable for him. Every day, Leo continued his dedicated practice. He would listen to different accents, try to mimic native speakers, and engage in deeper conversations. The initial struggle to understand even simple sentences was slowly fading away, replaced by genuine comprehension. He specifically focused on active listening, not just letting sounds wash over him. He would pause podcasts, try to predict what would be said next, and then confirm or correct his predictions. This deep engagement sharpened his auditory processing skills immensely over time. His English talking practice included specific pronunciation drills. He used online tools to compare his sounds with native speakers and sought feedback from his language partners. Articulating words clearly became a priority, improving his overall intelligibility significantly. Reading brought him an endless supply of new vocabulary. He kept a dedicated notebook for new words and phrases, reviewing them regularly. This systematic approach to vocabulary building ensured that he was not just recognizing words but actively incorporating them into his speech and writing. He stopped trying to memorize isolated grammar rules. Instead, he learned grammar naturally through reading and listening, observing how native speakers use different tenses and structures. This contextual learning made grammar feel intuitive rather than a complex set of abstract rules. Leo started creating an immersive English environment at home. He changed his phone and computer language to English, watched English language news, and even started thinking in English whenever possible. This constant exposure was crucial for rapid progress. Slowly but surely, Leo's confidence began to bloom. The fear of making mistakes diminished as he realized most people were encouraging and patient. He understood that communicating his ideas was paramount, even if it wasn't perfectly eloquent. Observing how people speak English in real-life interactions gave him insights into cultural nuances. He noticed how tone of voice, body language, and subtle expressions added layers of meaning beyond just the words themselves, enhancing his understanding. He found that how to talk with anyone became easier when he discussed topics he was genuinely interested in. His passion for a subject allowed him to speak more freely and naturally, even if his vocabulary wasn't extensive. This authenticity resonated with others. The internal monologue of "why I always make mistakes" transformed. Now, when he made an error, he would often laugh it off, correct himself, or even ask for clarification. He understood that mistakes were proof he was trying, proof he was learning. How to improve your English, Leo implemented structured practice sessions. He had a set time for listening, another for reading, and dedicated slots for speaking with different partners. This discipline ensured consistent progress without burnout. He actively sought out new resources, always looking for fresh material to keep his learning engaging. From new podcasts to online communities, he constantly varied his input, ensuring he was exposed to diverse accents and topics, which kept boredom at bay. The process of how to learn English evolved from a chore into an exciting adventure. He looked forward to his study sessions, eager to discover new words, understand complex ideas, and connect with people from different backgrounds. He committed to speaking English every single day, even if it was just a few sentences to himself. This constant repetition ingrained the language deeper into his mind, making retrieval faster and more automatic during actual conversations. Leo made sure to listen and practice, with a wide range of voices and accents. This prepared him for the diverse linguistic landscape of the real world, where not everyone speaks with perfect, clear articulation. It enhanced his adaptability. Every successful small interaction, every moment he felt understood, contributed significantly to his confidence to start step-by-step talking. These micro-victories built up, pushing him towards more complex and spontaneous dialogues. Reading didn't just provide words, it provided context and flow. Why reading is so important became evident as he started to instinctively understand sentence construction and paragraph coherence, improving his own writing and speaking structure. He paid close attention to how people speak English during informal conversations, noting fillers, pauses, and natural interjections. This helped him sound less robotic and more authentic when he spoke, blending in more seamlessly. His English talking practice became more purposeful. Instead of just chatting, he tried to incorporate new vocabulary or specific grammatical structures he had learned, making his practice sessions more effective and targeted. He discovered that how to talk with anyone truly involved active engagement. It meant not just speaking, but also asking follow-up questions, paraphrasing to confirm understanding, and genuinely participating in the back and forth of conversation. The question, why I always make mistakes, shifted to, what can I learn from this mistake? He meticulously reviewed his errors, trying to understand the underlying reason, whether it was a grammar rule, vocabulary choice, or pronunciation issue. Leo realized that how to improve your English was an ongoing process, not a destination. There was always more to learn, new nuances to grasp, and different accents to understand. This realization removed the pressure of reaching perfection. His approach to how to learn English became highly personalized. He identified his strengths and weaknesses, tailoring his study plan to address specific areas that needed more attention, ensuring efficient and effective learning. He moved beyond textbooks, embracing real-world materials for his listening. Podcasts on his hobbies, YouTube vlogs, and even English stand-up comedy became his regular sources. This made the learning process enjoyable and relevant. His ability to start step-by-step talking had progressed to spontaneous, unscripted conversations. He no longer needed to rehearse sentences in his head. Words flowed more naturally, driven by his thoughts and feelings. Reading didn't just teach him words, it taught him cultural context. Why reading is so important extended to understanding different perspectives and ways of thinking, which enriched his conversations and made him more globally aware. He actively tried to mimic how people speak English in terms of their rhythm, intonation, and emphasis. This wasn't about losing his accent, but about adopting a more natural, fluid delivery that improved comprehension for his listeners. Leo's English talking practice became a daily ritual. Whether with a friend, an online tutor, or even just talking aloud to himself while doing chores, he ensured constant vocalization in English, reinforcing his learning. He found that how to talk with anyone truly allowed him to forge deeper connections. Language was no longer a barrier but a bridge, enabling him to share ideas, learn from others, and build meaningful relationships across cultures. The thought of "why I always make mistakes" now brought a smile. He knew each mistake was a stepping stone, a lesson learned, and a testament to his courage and persistence. He had transformed his relationship with errors. Leo understood that how to improve your English was a lifelong journey. He set new goals, like mastering specific accents or delving into specialized vocabulary, keeping his motivation high and his learning process dynamic and exciting. Most importantly, he learned that how to learn English was about enjoying the process. The joy of discovery, the thrill of understanding, and the satisfaction of expressing himself accurately far outweighed any initial frustrations he faced. His once timid voice now carried confidence. Leo could now confidently participate in meetings, present his ideas, and engage in spontaneous banter, a stark contrast to his earlier struggles with basic phrases. He had not only improved his English, he had achieved fluency. Not perfection, but the ability to communicate effectively and naturally in almost any situation, expressing his thoughts and feelings without hesitation. This linguistic transformation had a profound impact on his life. New career opportunities opened up, he made friends from diverse backgrounds, and the world felt much smaller, more accessible, and infinitely more interesting. Leo became a true believer in the power of consistent, multifaceted practice. He shared his journey with others, encouraging them to embrace mistakes, practice relentlessly, and find joy in every step of their own English learning adventure. He often told new learners, just start step by step talking, even if it's imperfect. The most important thing is to begin. His story became an inspiration, showing that dedication truly paves the way to linguistic freedom. Every element played a role. The constant listen and practice refined his understanding, and regular English talking practice sharpened his articulation, demonstrating the interconnectedness of all skills for true mastery. Why reading is so important, he reiterated. It's the foundation for your vocabulary and grammar. It helps you see how people speak English written down, solidifying your comprehension and preparing you for real-life conversations. Now, how to talk with anyone was not a daunting question but a natural extension of his daily life. He engaged in conversations effortlessly, truly connecting with individuals from various walks of life. He no longer wondered why I always make mistakes, but instead saw each one as an invaluable teacher. They pointed out areas for refinement, ensuring his continuous, how to improve your English journey. His journey of how to learn English continued, but the initial anxieties were replaced by excitement. Leo was living proof that dedication, combined with the right strategies, could transform an overwhelming task into a rewarding achievement. He looked back at his early struggles with a sense of accomplishment. The shy, hesitant learner was now a confident, articulate English speaker, ready for any conversation the world threw his way, truly fluent. Embrace every step, he would advise, listen, practice, read, and talk. Don't fear mistakes. They are your best teachers on this incredible journey to mastering English. His story was a testament to persistent effort,